where they do evil, no one make person talk. Them say that Mayegun, that man too they talk. He too they talk. Say Mayegun diary, he dey hot like pepper. But every day, then they take money in bulk. Woman pikin, they the street, they hawk. Still them talk say, make we no talk. But thank God say, Mayegun don't come. So my people make you laugh. Oh, yo, yo, Mayegun don't come. Oh, yo, yo. My people make you shout. Oh, yo, yo, Mayegun don't come. Oh, yo, yo. Mayegun the command of the masses. Oh, yo, yo. Mayegun don't come. Oh, yo, yo. Mayegun the
Hello there.
Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Mayegun diary, Mayegun number one.
Àwọn ọlọ́pàá máa kó anybody lẹ́nu.
Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Mayegun diary, Mayegun number one.
Mayegun ti dé o, ọ̀rẹ́ ara yìí.
Mayegun diary, Mayegun number one.
Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Mayegun já wa sí.
Mayegun diary, Mayegun number one.
Good morning to you, good afternoon to you, and good evening to you from wherever you are watching from. This is Mayegun Live.
Mayegun diary, Mayegun number one.
Ó sì tún ṣe eré wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀. Mayegun diary politico.
Mayegun diary, Mayegun number one.
Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Mayegun.
Mayegun diary.
Please share this broadcast. Invite your friends, invite your not so friendly friends, and tell them that Mayegun is back. Mayegun today.
Làwa mọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Mayegun diary, Mayegun number one.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ra kì í.
Mayegun
My husband is not a magician.
Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ra kì í.
Whatever Nigerians are going through right now, you better continue going. There is no solution from the stable of Kolu Tinubu.
Lórí YouTube.
Mayegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn.
Man, they told you will hit the ground running. Cannot even be found. They said he's not a magician. Does it take magic to run? Hit the ground running. That is from Remi Werepe. Remi Tinubu.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ra kì í.
Mayegun ti dé.
Pẹ̀sìdó bá rúfin o.
Mayegun mami.
Àní ẹ̀sùn.
Ovagboza zu ze. Otunti ze. CSU has delivered. CSU ti Bokadi. All the records don't cause gbogbo problems are now in the custody of Atifku's lawyers. It is about to go down. Share the broadcast.
Ẹ̀sùn ra kì í.
Mayegun ti dé.
Òkúra olóṣèlú.
Mayegun mami.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ra kì í.
Mayegun ti dé.
Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ra kì í.
Mayegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ra kì í.
Mayegun ti dé.
That's it.
Mayegun ti dé.
Mutideo. Like I told you, October is a pregnant month. Is pregnant, and this same October, that October will deliver. Whether it is going to be a boy, a girl, twins, triplets, quintuples, and all of those, we don't know. But there is something that is so certain. Tinubu does not want us to find out whatever it is buried in that America concerning Pablo Ekowasi, Tinubu Jaga Banditi, the Jaga Wiri, Jaga Addicti, aṣíwájú àwọn olè, aṣíwájú àwọn agbèrò, aṣíwájú àwọn pickpocket. Some will say, Ashiwaju Àwọn Atọ́lé, that they love to sing. Their popular song is that on your pampas they shall shout. On his pampas they shall shout. On his pampas, Bola on your pampas, Bola on your pampas they shall poo. The category of the degenerates that brought in Kolu that would never want us to know what is going on. This October, now everything we go hear, now everything we go see, we will know who is this man. I mean, we would have the real picture of what to tell our children. I'm not going to be I'm not going to be one of those parents that will lie to their children that there is something called the labor of your heroes' pasts. When you begin to scrutinize those who paraded themselves, dead or alive, that call themselves the heroes' past of Nigeria, we have discovered that majority of them are crooks, criminals that were never caught. Even when they were caught, still got compensated. They were never punished. Those are the heroes' past they are talking about Nigeria. I am talking about those ones who told us that what the elders see when they sit down, if a young person goes to the Kilimanjaro, he will never see it. Then we started asking them, elder, come here. Whatever you saw 40, 50 years ago, did you see Nigeria becoming this, what it is today? Did you see that, any elders? Did you see a divided Nigeria? Did you see an impoverished Nigeria? Did you see a Nigeria that is terrorized? And did you see a Nigeria that is intentionally impoverished? Don't insult us, we are older than you. Respect your elders. Do you see the problem there? Elders that will never take responsibility. And that is why we are where we are today. So I am not going to be one of those that will tell my children that the labor of our heroes past, the labor of the criminals past in Nigeria was to loot our future. That future is here. Those who are currently with us, that the future we are living right now, those who looted that, most of them are dead. You see the caliber of those who are looting us and then destroying what is it today? They are not destroying today, they are destroying tomorrow. The tomorrow that your children, my children, will grow up into. An uncertain country, an impoverished country, a country where you should rather kind of sell yourself off to anywhere as a slave than to exist there as a citizen. So that is why platforms like Mayegun's Diary Politico is always going to go against the norm. Nigeria is a country where abnormalities have been normalized. So for somebody like Mayegun and the disciples of the Temple of Truth, where you are right now, we will choose to go against that norm. And we encourage you to do the same. Whatever you have, whatever hope, whatever thing you are building up in Nigeria, whatever they told you about Nigeria, they told me too. Everything you know about Nigeria when you were growing up, I knew them too. The same conditioning of how you should be, what you should do, if you want to be this, if you want to be that, they told me too. We were all conditioned to accept all this madness as if to say, that is the only option we have. So, you better join us. You better join the resistance. Join the resistance. Those who will never accept this madness, and they will do everything to crush it. You know something? The popular saying that if you can't beat them, you should join them, was probably coined from the corrupt cesspool of criminals running Nigeria, like traditionally. If you can't beat them, join them. If you can't, you can't beat them, just join them. And a lot have been joining them. But we choose another philosophy on this platform. We said, listen, it may take time. If you can't beat them, join us. some of us cannot beat them individually too. So we have decided to team up by starting the revolution called Revolution of the Mind. You know, when you begin to look at things and you're like, this is not normal, and you begin to reject every abnormality mentally, psychologically, it becomes difficult for those who have always been brainwashing the people, impoverishing them so that they can keep them under control. It will become difficult for people like that to control you. Your mind, revolution of the mind. Now, when you now meet other people who are also angry against that system, against those criminals, who don't give a damn about us or about our future, our existence, or anything other than just to tell you what they want you to hear. By the time you join us, it will no longer matter whether you are Igbo, Yoruba, Hausa, Fulani, Ijo, Ishekiri, the Nupe, the Tifis, the Igalas, the Jokuns, these are people in Abuja, the owners of Abuja, the Baggy people. You no longer identify as that in the face of existential threat that these guys actually pose. That is the revolution that we need first. It is already happening here. Okay? And then when we are ready, like I told you, you won't join them because you can't beat them. You will join us. We will then team together, put all our hands together, come beat them. And we are on that journey. Information, something they don't want you to know. Something they believe that if you are aware of it, you'll be so angry. You'll be so angry that you have believed all your life lies told by this crook. Now, you see, the answer to why Nigeria is not working and will never work will begin to appear to you just like that. And you begin to be like, oh my God. Oh my God. There is no way a country will exist this way and being run this way and will ever prosper or progress. There is no way. Then you begin to agree with us. In that state of anger, controlled, managed anger, we will take back our destiny. We are not there yet, but we are on our way there. That is why social media is a great threat to the criminals ruining Nigeria. They were everywhere. Kolu that didn't tell you anything. He never debated anyone. He never had any serious conversation around whatever he was going to do during their campaign. He was everywhere telling you, I came here to dance. Jagaban. Everybody vote for Jagaban. Jagaban. Everybody vote for Jagaban. Hope is here. Happiness is here. Food is here. That is the character that is coming to save you from a ruined country. An intentionally destroyed country. Because that's exactly what APC Egbekegbe did. They intentionally, okay, destroyed every fabric of that country. Divided the people on a rhetoric of if you don't agree with us, you are an enemy of the country. Did you hear that? That was the trajectory where how they ran Nigeria under APC. Egbekegbe. If you ever disagrees with all of what they were doing or decided to expose them, you will become a target. Not because they would eventually go back and deal with that problem. Sure you get? No, they will deal with you. It became so sad that when the insecurity in Nigeria started escalating from Boko Haram to ISWAP, from ISWAP 1 to ISWAP 2, from ISWAP 2 to Fulani terrorist, from Fulani terrorist to the one they call banditi, unknown gunmen. The entire Nigeria became captured. Entire Nigeria. Insecurity became something that people had to cope with. You see this Olori Bruku APC, Egbekegbe, today, they were defending APC, Egbekegbe, protesting against government failure, government bad policies, government inadequacies, government corruption became haram. Haram. Haram ni o, haram. Forbidden. It's a sin, haram. The civil space became sort of strangulated. And they boldly said, protesting or gathering is not allowed in a democracy. They praised Bukuari at the time. Intentionally, while the terrorists spread all over Nigeria. As they were destroying farms, they were killing farmers. As they were kidnapping women, they were raping children. As they were looting military armory, they were shooting down fighter jets. It became a theater of absurdity. That was when Nigeria earned the title, the second most terrorized people in the world. And just like that, this was the physical attack, the physical terrorism against Nigerians. So there is another one, economic jihad, economic terrorism against Nigerians. They were doing it. It was like, it's okay. Endure. Bukwari is working. The result of all of this will start happening in 2 years' time, in a year time, in clinical time. People were dying. Those who died of hunger are more than those who died in the hands of state-sponsored terrorists called Boko Haram and Fulani terrorists. Don't let that shock you. More Nigerians died because they couldn't feed than those killed by the terrorists. In fact, more even died because they couldn't afford the medical bills to take care of themselves. I mean, Nigeria is a place that is so unreal. Every logical things from elsewhere doesn't make that, it becomes illogical in Nigeria. Don't take any template from anywhere and take it to Nigeria that you want to use it to kind of solve any problem in Nigeria. It will be defeated because the Nigerian issue, is it that devil where they go to Saudi to throw stone at, Those are the ones who are wearing Babariga right there with you in Nigeria. Bukwari unleashed economic jihad on Nigerians. First, the subsidy they called scam. The subsidy fraudsters, those who are collecting the money, who happen to be the friends of government as well. Majority of them inside the APC, Egbekegbe. One of them, Abubakar Bagudu. Abubakar Bagudu happened to be the former bagman for Sonny Abacha. Abubakar Bagudu succeeded in helping Abacha to siphon billions of Nigeria's money that he had to cut a deal that for him to show them where the money was, they would need to give him 20% of that and immunity from prosecution of the crime. He got that and he became very rich. He became governor of Kebbi State. And these are the characters at the time inside the APC, Egbekegbe, economic jihad, as they were stealing people's money from their banks and bank accounts. So were they stealing whatever it is that you can call the revenue earner for the country? Forex earners, like crude oil, gas, and what have you. Nigeria Naira became almost a tissue paper. Nigerians lost their jobs in a way that that they have never seen or witnessed before under these criminals. I mean, how do you explain a country governed by lunatics and the career criminals, and in 8 years, unemployment jumped from 13 million to over 80 million, where right now, more than 70% of the population have no real job. They just have something to get by. That is not even just the problem. That you even have that job does not even add any value as well. Because whatever you get from it, every day, your naira continue to depreciate and depreciate. And if I have to put that in figure, in number, right? In 2015, right, the value of your naira to what it is today, and that naira lost more than 80% of its value. Today, the naira is just like that paper. You just need more of it in order to get a cup of coffee. And that is more or less like the road to Zimbabwe. You use wheelbarrow to push your money to go and buy bread. You will see money on the road like papers. And when you pick one and you realize that the value is not something that can even buy you go, you throw it down. On the way to that, but guess who suffered it? Businesses. More than 1.2 million businesses shut down in Nigeria. Whether not big, medium, micro, or macro, it doesn't matter. They were folding up like that everywhere. These guys ruined Nigeria to the point that Nigeria is using 100% of our own revenue to service debt. It's not paying debt, to servicing debt, and nothing is left but to borrow more. And in that 8 years, I was here shouting every day, every hour. And guess what? APC, Egbekegbe, that was doing all of this, destroying Nigeria. They were calling people like us enemy of Nigeria. People lost their lives, lost their savings, lost their investment, lost their jobs, lost their businesses, lost things. A lot of people lost relationship, lost their family under these 8 years of APC. Egbekegbe. Then they said, person where they dance is coming to come and solve the problems for them. A demented, sick Kalu. Then they put up all of the package. They couldn't sell him. So they had to resort to tribal, ethnic, and religious, divisive politics. And right before our very eyes, after doing that, they are turning it around to say, oh, other people actually turned the politics to politics of a tribe, politics of ethnic, politics of religion, when we saw everything that happened in black and white. And that's what they do. They would deny so outrightly that you'll be wondering like, oh my God, is that not what I saw? Even when you present the evidence to them, they will be like, no, that's not what we meant. You are the one who was trying to cause this and that. Because it is their stock in trade. They don't take responsibility. So, Sanwo-Iku and the set of people who organized this killing of Nigerians, when Nigerians were asking them to stop police brutality against the young people. Sanwo-Iku, Tinubu, Remi, Boko Haram, Pastor Ruga, this one, Garbage Shehu, and the other one, Femi Oponu-Adeshina. They said, the same characters and the same people have now turned around, and they are now in power. Put it that way. They've managed to rig themselves in. The country is still divided. The country is already in a hole. Sanwo-Iku said, whatever is the problem that Nigeria was facing, Tinubu has the magic wand. Do you know the people that hold wands? Magicians. Magicians that will do abracadabra. Abracadabra. Turn, what do you call it? Turn stone to bread. Abracadabra. Let there be light. Abracadabra. Naira should turn to $1. $1 should turn to 1 naira. Only for Remi to come out 4 months after that, looking so angry. Like saying now we told the world that Kolu is a magician that is coming to come and change Nigeria from the ruin that Bokuwari brought upon Nigeria. You could tell she was talking fast. She was talking like somebody who is kind of, why do you hate us? Why are you blaming us? We inherited a ruined country. Now who ruined country? Who ruined Nigeria? If you see Tinubu, he will be talking about some powerful people are the ones who are enjoying this money. I don't need money. I don't need house. I don't need land. I am for you, the poor. I am for you, Nigerians. So they are wondering why is it that people don't really like them? You know? So Remi was at an event today. I'll first play you that one.
We are not here to put blame on any administration, but to fix what is damaged. My husband is not a magician. He's going to work brick by brick, and I believe and I hope that you will have faith in this administration. The best is yet to come for us.
Did you hear that? It's like, why I don't understand why you people don't understand us. My husband inherited a ruined country. Who ruined Nigeria? We don't want to put blame. We don't want to blame anybody. All of you know now. Abi, you know what somebody told me? Listen to this one. It's like a narrative for all of you to understand Tinubu better. And whenever we say Tinubu is a career criminal, I also want you to understand that context very well. Normally, people believe that people like Tinubu, they play a long game. When Tinubu was supposed to be doing his drug dealing, that one that they were importing rice to Thailand, Abi from Thailand, with Wale Soyinka that time, that would have been early 90s, Abi. But before then, in the 80s, there were also pandemic of drug, what do you call it? Drug smuggling. If you remember, what's that woman's name again? Mary Okon. The one that they said was bringing in, was arrested for drug trafficking or so. What's her name again? Anyway, you shall remember, Sha. It was in the mid 80s and late 80s. Okay, sorry, late 70s, early 80s, mid 80s, and then early 90s. Drug trafficking. Gloria Okon, God bless you. Do you remember that Atifku was a custom officer at the time? And there was a time of 11 briefcase passing through the custom that Atifku said he allowed it to pass. These were briefcase of Bokuwari and his family and all of that, money or whatever. You remember that story? That's not where I'm going, okay? I'm trying to give you the context of a long game that criminals like Tinubu are very, very good at, okay? Here, remember that Atifku was a custom officer, Oga, in custom, Abi? And Atifku was said to be very rich when he was a custom officer. It was also those era that Tinubu and his gang were doing drug trafficking at a wholesale scale, industrial scale. Yeah? So one way or the other, Atifku said he has known Tinubu since the 80s. I'm talking about when they were friends, which means Atifku knew Tinubu very well as well. Abi? Now, fast forward, okay, to 1999, all right, when Atiku became vice president, Tinubu became governor of Lagos State, okay, but they were in different parties, PDP and AD. Now, this new adventure coming from their background, though, when Atiku and Obasanjo started their fight, no, before then, when Obasanjo decided to withhold the local government money for Lagos State because Tinubu created extra local government areas, and Obasanjo said, no, they will not give him any extra money and they will not identify those, local government areas. Remember, Atiku was Obasanjo's vice. Atiku was Tinubu's friend. The deeper story of how Obasanjo was unable to kind of twist and punish Tinubu in 2003 when Obasanjo sold that bobo to all the AD governors in southwest Nigeria, that because Yorubas didn't support him in 1999, only the north supported him and the eastern Nigeria. For Yorubas, that didn't give him credibility enough. As a Yoruba man, Yorubas didn't support him. So he now sold that bobo to Yoruba governors, including Tinubu, that if they allow the Yorubas and they are supposed to vote for him, he will make sure that all of the Yoruba governors return more or less like unopposed, that they shouldn't worry about the PDP governorship candidate. It was only Tinubu that got the memo that was not the intention of Obasanjo. Obasanjo want to capture Southwest. Who told him? Who kind of told Tinubu about that? It wasn't because Tinubu is a genius, no. It was because he was a friend to Atiku, which later showed up in their future relationship. If you remember, in 2007, when Atiku was trying to succeed Obasanjo, and the fight that happened between them later in their second term, it was then that Tinubu decided to start another political party called AC. Sure, you remember AC. So when Atiku was not going to be given a ticket in PDP, it was easily offered it to him by Tinubu at the time, if you remember as well, right? Okay. Anyway, when Obasanjo created EFCC and Ribadu became Obasanjo's attack dog, so what happened? They unleashed him on Tinubu. So somehow, Tinubu used immunity to escape everything that Ribadu threw at him. But the moment Yaradua succeeded Obasanjo, and Obasanjo could no longer control Ribadu, what do you call him? Tinubu, at the time, befriended Ribadu again. When Ribadu became the target of Yaradua's government, when he was removed and sent to Jos in Kuru to go and do strategic study in Kuru. You remember that time? So they said it was a James Ibori that told Ribadu at the time that being the best friend to Yaradua, Ribadu will be removed as EFCC chairman. He will be demoted, then he will be jailed. And that's exactly what Yaradua was doing at the time, Abi. He got demoted, sent back to Kuru, and that was when Ribadu ran away. You remember? That is not actually where I'm going with, okay? So where is Tinubu and Ribadu crossed? Tinubu befriended Ribadu, made Ribadu the presidential candidate of his new political party called ACN. The same Ribadu that was going after him for corruption and other crime, he befriended him, okay? Made him just like he did to Atiku. He made Ribadu presidential candidate of his political party, okay? Then he told the world, Bokwari is a jihadist. Bokwari is a divisive figure. Then when he got to 2011, when Yaradua died, Jonathan became president. Now, Jonathan wanted to contest election for the first time. He realized that the northern Nigeria are so angry that they just lost their own slot to the death of Yaradua. They wanted Jonathan out of there. Jonathan befriended Tinubu. You know the story as well. whereby Tinubu was made a deal that will make him get whatever he wanted politically, especially in southwest Nigeria, to keep his own space without any threat, as long as he, Jonathan, can get the support of the West. And with the backing of a $2 billion, this is also a factor. He befriended Jonathan. Now, that moment, when he befriended Jonathan, he was campaigning for Ribadu. So Ribadu was just like a baiting worm to get access to Jonathan. For meeting Jonathan, seeing him in his own vulnerability, he now sensed that, he can actually be president. I mean, he can be president. Look at this guy. See how scared he is. See the way he's talking. If I tell him anything right now, he's going to do it. That was when the idea of becoming president of Nigeria finally come to Tinubu. Like fully, it is doable. So those who could be his obstacle, those who could expose or anything at all, he befriended them. But this Jonathan, we are going to finish this one. This one no get liver. A year after Jonathan became president, Occupy Nigeria campaign started, well-funded, well-sponsored, and Jonathan folded. Around that time, he was like, yes, I was right. This Jonathan no get liver. But he can't just go and be president. He will need somebody to be the bait first. That was when he decided to go and befriend the jihadist CPC of Boko Haram. Maybe Boko Haram should come first. Then after Boko Haram, then it can be me. That was how Tinubu plotted his way to be president of Nigeria. And those who knows him better, it's like having compromise on one another. So when people said, why is he so determined to stop the Chicago State University from releasing its record? And why is Atiku so invested in making sure they release everything? What do they know about themselves? I told you, it is not because we are smart, intelligent, or have all the resources and all that, that will crumble the greedy establishment in Nigeria. First thing first, they are going to self-destruct. You see these criminals? And all of the information we are going to use to nail them, they would have to give them to us by themselves. And that's exactly what they are doing. All I have to do is to make sure that all of you pay attention. Not just pay attention to those information. You actually get connected to those information. You need to be connected to them so that you can react accordingly. You can react to them intelligently. So that when you fight the fight at the end of the day, somebody else or another set of criminals will not be those beneficiaries. Ask those who thought they were fighting the military from 1993 to 1999. Those who died, those who went to jail, who were fighting for military at the time. When the democracy finally came, the criminals who were friends of the military and the military themselves, they changed their jersey. Once they changed their jersey, they started speaking like civilians, and the entire rotten system remained even worse. Because those who genuinely thought they were fighting for democracy believed that they were not politicians. They were not cut out for public office. They were not cut out for leadership. So they abandoned the whole success to the same criminals that pretended to be fighting democracy with them. 24 years after that, people can't even tell if not democracy, plutocracy, kleptocracy, or unitocracy. Some even said it is demonstration of grace. And in all of this, it all comes with it. Everything comes to one single definition. This is not democracy. Because if you want to fight these criminals, when they destroy themselves, you have to make sure that none of their remnants, none of their proteges, none of those associated with them who believed in them, who enabled them, has any chance of leading a single house, not even a community. Again, right information, education, and connection with better psychological preparation, like all the shon that you can think of positively, will come handy when we are connected, so to say, when you have the real connection, so to say, to the information you are being given. Sorry, I do that sometimes. Just want to be like, nah. And that is why you see Nigerians, they speak big grammar. But most of the time, they don't have intelligent thinking. They cannot think critically. Critical thinking is like a job that a lot of people don't really want to apply for. But in this case, they are now telling you they are not magician, okay? Even Kalu said, whatever you are going through right now, if you are seeing Shege right now, my dear brothers and sisters, with the love from here, you haven't seen anything yet. If you are going through hell, as you are watching this video from Nigeria, look at me very well. The best idea for you, or the best advice for you, Alaye, continue going, tell me about last year. You will do Thanksgiving, Abi. Even call you right now. In what he told all of you yesterday, what's the solution, Leo? Seriously.
The cost of fuel has gone up. Food and other prices have followed it. Households and businesses struggling. Things seem anxious and uncertain. I understand the hardship you face. I wish there were other ways, but there's not.
Chai! Wahala dey o. Wahala dey.
What shall I say unto the Lord?
Yes, Lord.
All I have to say,
Thank you, Lord.
what
shall I say? Thank you,
Thank you, Lord. There is no other way. That is what Kalu said. Briefly, I was on, what do you call it? I was on my Facebook yesterday. And then one of those, the usual living in denial, unity beggar, Aslika, and the rest of them like that, one of them now said, Mayegun, you can cry and cry. You will cry for 8 years. And I was actually in my car. You know, sometimes when I'm in my car, I'll go live on Facebook so that to show those who are in Nigeria that where I live is not heaven. It's not being governed by angels. Okay? Provision of basic amenities is to the beneficiary of all, not just the rich or the poor.